Donc, on continue avec Meurtre sur l'Orient Express. On est en train d'interroger cette petite madame. Fait que moi, j'étais curieux de voir son alibi. Alors, le voici.
Can you tell me what you did last night?
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't, because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill, and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from sleeping?
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I
Oh.
know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
Entre minuit et 2 heures, elle a essayé de dormir sans succès à cause des secousses. Mais le train t'a arrêté!
Calm now, Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
Ouais, c'est ça.
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow. So there was no shaking of the train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from sleeping.
I don't know, you're confusing me. My vertigo.
Oh, she's
A
sus.
man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my husband.
Ça va me donner le temps de fouiller la chambre. Mais j'ai pas beaucoup de temps.
That was unkind, I know, but my strategy worked. I can now inspect this room in peace.
Des bijoux. Sleeping pills.
These must be the sleeping pills that Countess Andreni took last night.
Ah ouais, c'est une comtesse par mariage, ouais. Ah, fuck, c'est une music box, ça doit être un autre puzzle. Ouais. Ici, on a des ballerines.
There seems to be something missing here.
The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, for real?
It's closed.
Ok. Grenouille. Grenouille.
It's closed.
Twitter. Dead.
It's closed.
Ok. Fleur, feuille, poussin. Fleur, feuille, poussin.
It's closed.
Ah! De la crinque. C'est une machine à musique. Oh, wait! Il y avait des pitons ici, dans le fond de la boîte. Faut que je prenne une photo. Ça marche-tu si je fais ça? Oui. C'est ça? Ah! Ah, une broche! Ça, c'est pas mal. Dans le fond, c'est tout. Oh, what's this? Pour mes belles demoiselles Elena et Sonia. Avant, Elena, ça prenait un H.
For my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H. It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
Probably a sister.
An engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic. It looks like a first name.
Poirot! Have you no shame?
Natasha.
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder, Count Andreni.
My wife is ill.
My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music box.
How dare you?
The message in the medallion was addressed to you and Sonia. Sonia Armstrong, your older sister.
Oh!
The mother of Daisy, the murdered child.
Oh!
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had been there.
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
I give you my word of honor that last night, Helena never left her compartment. My wife is telling you the truth, Poirot.
I hope so. I'll let you rest. The matter of the H on the handkerchief still needs clearing up. But first I should check the inscription on the back of the medallion.
Ah, ça va-tu revenir à ce que j'ai dit tantôt? Le médaillon, il était écrit en cyrillique. Traduction de la gravure. Ben oui. Toi, Natacha, ça prend un H. Natalia? N. C'est peut-être Natalia.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer. I do not think that's the right answer.
Lower N?
Natalia. Would it be Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only
Natalia.
Russian passenger on the train. In addition, her first name begins with an H in Cyrillic. I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
Okay, now I can talk to Dragomirov. Great. Which one is Dragomirov again? $107, okay. She's not first class for some reason. No
I
answer.
am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madam, but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Come in, please.
Ah,
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
Then ask. I'll answer if it pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced, yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her.
okay, nationality, russe. Profession, directrice de musée. Âge, 26, non. 85.
My little gray cells did not let me down. I will first ask you about last night. Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffer from back pain, a consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see. I must tell you, Princess Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong, was my goddaughter. I was on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius, one of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very well. But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Elena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he? Then justice has at last been served.
The first initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur Ratchet's room. Can you explain to me why Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That is not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed while you were on board the same train. Second coincidence. Your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence. One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot, call it fate. If you report to the police your coincidences, they will laugh. A woman of my age and frailty has violently murdered a man? With how many potential witnesses who saw me doddering along the corridor in the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth?
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or more accomplices. And it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
Привет! Привет!
Ah!
That's the right answer.
Un autre rapport à Book. Oh là là. Ça se peut-tu que j'ai croisé Monsieur Book, puis que je m'en suis pas rendu compte?
Sorry to bother you, Monsieur Mori. I have a question to ask you.
Please make it quick. I have a meal to prepare.
This handkerchief embroidered with an H, is it yours?
No, I've never seen it before.
Thank you. That is all I wanted to know.
I hope your investigation won't interfere with today's menu.
Thank you so much, Monsieur Poirot. I can put orange juice back on the menu.
Oh, Poirot, you're there. She hasn't moved, but she seems to be waking up little by little. What about you? Your investigation progresses?
I find myself helping everyone with their problems before they can help me with mine. I have shifted boxes, helped with hangovers, repaired an orange juicer, unlocked some Russian dolls, all so my investigation can proceed.
Don't forget the dessert recipe.
How can I?
Truly, the labors of Hercules.
My friend, I would rather clean out the Orgeon stables. Yet, I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Oh, tell me everything.
Oh, le mouchoir!
The embroidered handkerchief belongs to Princess Dragomirov. I also found out that she was Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
On the same train with the little girl's murderer?
Exactly. Also, Elena Andreni is the younger sister of Sonia Armstrong, Daisy's mother.
Another passenger connected to the Armstrong case?
Yes, Book. What are the odds, do you think? But I cannot see either woman stabbing Ratchet over and over again in a frenzy. And they apparently have alibis. I had 3 theories concerning the broken watch. It could have been tampered with. It could have been out of adjustment before the murder. Or, of course, it could indicate the actual time of the murder. The only hypothesis I could rule out was that the watch was out of adjustment. For the others, they are impossible to verify. So the watch is of little use to the investigation.
And I was convinced that it indicated the time of the crime. 2 women involved in the Armstrong case.
Let us not forget our patient here. There are 3 women.
Look, she seems to be waking up.
What's happening to me? Did I fall asleep again?
Indeed, Mademoiselle Locke. Did you take any medication? Sleeping pills, for example?
No, I never use sleeping pills.
I inspected your cup. You can clearly see that there is a residue of something at the bottom. I'm sure a lab test would confirm you were drugged. Most likely an overdose. That would explain your battle to shake off the effects.
You think Fräulein Schmidt did it?
She certainly had the most opportunity, but why would she?
But no one knew who I was. It's impossible that someone deliberately targeted me.
Qui a drogué Mademoiselle Locke? Bonne question. 2 suspects les plus susceptibles. Il y aurait Dragomirov. Debenham, non. Le détective, il était bodyguard.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
Elle était proche parce qu'elle était dans sa même chambre. Hubbard. Elle en avait, ben, je sais pas, man.
No, not good.
Fait que là, j'ai Madame Smith de correct. Ça veut dire qu'il faudra que j'aille à Taton.
I do not think that's the right answer.
Madame Nielsen?
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
Foscarelli?
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Pas Jean-Michel?
Fräulein Schmidt or Monsieur Michel may have drugged the tea that Mademoiselle Locke drank. Fräulein Schmidt or Pierre Michel could have drugged your tea.
Pas Pierre
They are
Michel.
really the only 2 people on this train who could have done it. But why would either one do it?
Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling much better. I'd like to bring you up to date to why I ended up on this train.
If you are able, I would very much like you to finish your story.
Very well then. After the Daisy Armstrong case was officially closed, I put out a standing request to the police departments in the Boston area for anything on Michael Clark. But he didn't turn up on their radar. I even set up an anonymous tip line for news about Clark. That's how I met Braid, a sketchy contact on the dark web, but they found nothing I could use.
Fait que j'ai fini un autre chapitre. Chapitre 6 est déjà fini, wow!
Without anything new. Every day I looked at the evidence board I put up in my apartment bedroom. Then this morning, a police report landed on my desk that changed everything. I paid a visit to the police property room and took home a box full of clues. There was his name. Michael Clark.
Là, on va voir comment elle a réussi à déduire que Michael Clark c'était Cassetti. Une lettre. Attention, bill notice, Joanna Locke.
A bill from the power company with, I'm sure, plenty of excuses why my rates keep going up.
Oh, yeah. Magazine de voyage, l'Orient Express. Le légendaire Orient Express fête ses 140 ans avec un voyage inoubliable. Ah, avec une pub de la Firenze. Fortuna est heureux d'être le sponsor officiel des 140 ans de l'Orient Express. Notre porte-parole, c'est le pilote Antonio Foscarelli, fera le voyage à l'Orient Express. Ouais.
Bravo. for the discriminating traveler. Also for the overworked detective who never seems to have time for vacation. Well, I can dream, can't I? Travel for the also.
Rapport de police. Contenu du dossier kidnapping. Le corps du journaliste Michael Clark a été retrouvé enterré dans son jardin à Boston. Monsieur Clark a été tué d'une balle dans la poitrine. L'état de décomposition du corps suggère le mort en automne 2018. Ça y ressemble pas pantoute!
Years of no new leads in the Armstrong case, and then this. Michael Clark, the sarcastic reporter, my prime suspect in the kidnapping, murdered 4 years ago? This is Michael Clark? He doesn't look anything like the journalist I interviewed. Michael, you have earned a place on my evidence board.
En plus, son permis de conduire avait l'air legit. C'était un fake? Wow! Ok, je veux juste aller chercher quelque chose à manger. Je reviens vite, vite, vite. J'avais juste des chips, mais ça fait trop de bruit. Fait qu'on va laisser faire. J'ai une barre, une protéine. Barre protéinée. Ça va faire la job. Bon. Excusez, pardon. Porte-clés de la cabane. Avec une tête de crâne, un D20 ornementatif, une espèce de boule qui ressemble à une boule de billard. C'est un pointeur laser. Le toutou! Le toutou de la victime, Fluffy!
Fluffy. Daisy's plush toy. The lab team found this keychain in the cabin, but they wouldn't have bothered to examine the keys once the DA shut down the investigation. The keys were just tossed in the evidence box along with everything else. It's too unusual not to demand a closer look.
Oh! Il doit avoir un mot de passe spécial. C'est pas un D20, c'est un D12. Hmm. Trois, 5, 6, 9. OK. Oh! Ça vient qu'un couteau!
They sell them on the internet for self-protection.
A flip blade on a key. Ok, on va essayer le 3, 5, 6, 9. 3. 5. 6. 9. Oh! Une pilule! The fuck is this?
What do we find? a capsule, and a smell. Bitter almonds. Cyanide.
Bitter almonds. Il y avait une capsule de cyanure dans le porte-clés. Il y a des trous sur le bord de la tête. The fuck?
What do they call this? Brass knuckles? Knuckle dusters? Illegal in Massachusetts. Possession alone can lead to serious jail time.
Fait que la tête de bœuf cachait une dague. Asti. Ça, c'est une flashlight. Asti. Ah! Un tournevis? Couteau suisse. Lockpick.
What do we have here? A flashlight. They can also conceal knives, but in this case we have lockpicks.
Ben, calé, c'était à qui ça? C'était à qui ce porte-clés-là? Ça n'a pas d'allure. Une brosse à cheveux.
Suzanne's hair, so conveniently left in the cabin for us to find. It was planted. I knew she was innocent.
Planté, ben ouais. Duct tape puis un cutter.
So clever. All that evidence, and yet no DNA found.
Bouteille d'eau. Blue Lagoon, Rook House, 2019. Ah, c'est le vin que vous avez bu.
The only fingerprints found on the bottle were Suzanne's.
Ah. La victime de Boston, toujours non identifiée. Rapport d'autopsie, tatouage. Hein? Ouais. Mort causée par une blessure au torse entre la 4e et la 5e côte en plein cœur. Une balle de calibre 22 a été retirée mais n'est pas répertoriée dans la base de police. Le visage de la victime a été ravagé par un objet de type marteau, sans doute dans le but d'éviter la reconnaissance faciale. Les dents étaient inutilisables pour la base de reconnaissance dentaire, les bouts des doigts ont été coupés pour enlever les empreintes digitales. Vu que tout a été fait pour rendre la victime non identifiable, pourquoi avoir laissé le tatou visible? Ici, Colonel Armstrong revient des Berkshires. Un de nos plus importants représentants revient d'un déplacement à Washington et au Pentagone. Quand on l'a interrogé sur ses rencontres, il a ri et s'est contenté d'un « trop de généraux ». 7 juin 2020. Procureur général Lawrence McQueen prend sa retraite, anticipée à l'âge de 50 ans. D'après sa famille, McQueen était dépressif depuis l'enlèvement de Daisy Armstrong en décembre. Il se serait senti mal de n'avoir pas pu amener les coupables devant la justice. Il était accusé d'avoir clos l'affaire trop vite. Il avait conclu à l'époque que Suzanne Moreau, la nourrice des Armstrong, était le ravisseur et que son suicide était un acte de remords. Des voix s'étaient élevées pour critiquer sa décision jugée hâtive. Sa famille, et en particulier son fils, le soutiennent dans ce choix difficile de retraite anticipée. Il est remplacé par le procureur général Arthur Winson. Fait que ça, c'est plus de détails. Si je lisais ça... Ah non, ça, c'est... Il n'y avait rien de nouveau. Victime de Boston, toujours non identifiée. Le corps d'un homme a été retrouvé dans une forêt proche de Watertown, une banlieue de New York... de Boston, pardon. Le visage a délibérément été défiguré avec un marteau et un billet de 100$ a été retrouvé au fond de la gorge de la victime. Le numéro de série du billet faisait partie de la rançon d'enlèvement de Daisy Armstrong. Ah? 6 mars 2022. C'était-tu Noah, ça? Daisy. L'échelle, le 4x4. Suicide de John Armstrong. What? 2 avril 2019, le colonel John Armstrong, décoré de guerre, a perdu son dernier combat contre un ennemi qui ne pouvait vaincre le chagrin. Après l'enlèvement et l'assassinat de sa fille, il a perdu sa femme et son deuxième enfant dans une fausse couche, puis le suicide du principal suspect dans la mort de sa fille, elle l'a privé de toute justice. Face à une vie aussi vide et tragique, le colonel Armstrong s'est suicidé. De nombreux militaires et des personnalités politiques étaient présents aujourd'hui pour la cérémonie commémorative. Ça, c'est John Armstrong qui a pris sa place. Ah non, ça n'a pas rapport! Ok. Le texte qu'il y a ici, là, c'est supposé être là. 7 juin 2020. Là, le procureur général Lawrence McQueen. Mais il ressemble à Hector. Puis ça, c'est en parlant avec le mandat d'arrêt de Suzanne. Ouais. Enregistrement des appels de nuit. Ah, et ça, c'est les numéros de téléphone. Fait que Suzanne aurait appelé le 2140, ça aurait été Noah. Mais le numéro ne peut plus être identifié parce qu'ils l'ont effacé. Ok. Ça, c'est le supposé Michael Clark. Là, j'imagine que je peux le relier avec lui.
I knew it. The faces don't match at all. They are clearly two different men. I should run facial recognition on my computer.
Ouais, plus je le regarde, là, tu y rases le crâne, tu... Non, pas tu y rases le crâne, tu y rases la barbe, tu y coupes son espèce, là, de queue de cheval minable. Puis c'est Ratchet. Tu rajoutes une coupe d'années aussi. Qu'est-ce que ça dit si je fais ça? Non, c'est un bug. C'est la même affaire. Ok. Chat. Fait que c'est qui le corps retrouvé ici? Ça serait-tu...
I know I have to stop printing. It's bad for the planet. I don't have time to waste on magazines. Not really my style, but I'll take it.
Oh, il y avait une moustache dans la litière. Moby Dick.
I've read it probably 10 times already. But I can't get enough of it. Don't know why. Maybe because it helps me sleep?
Psh. Regardez une photo de la petite Daisy. Reconnaissance faciale, ok.
Okay, the real Michael Clark has been dead for years. Let's see if the photo of the fake Michael Clark matches someone in the database of known criminals. I've tried this several times in the past few years, but came up empty. Maybe whoever he really is has finally made a mistake.
T'as lui, ça c'est le Ratchet qu'on connaît.
That could be him, but he looks pretty different.
Qu'est-ce qui a changé? Les cheveux?
Yes, he seems different at first glance, but still it's the same person.
Lunettes?
Okay.
Barbe?
Good.
Front?
No, this isn't it. Think!
Le nez?
He's changed his appearance a lot. Probably had some plastic surgery on his nose, but there is no doubt it's the same person. Let's see why he was arrested.
Samuel Ratchet arrêté. 23 novembre 2023 à l'aéroport de Erevan en Arménie. Possession d'objets d'art anciens volés. Les 3 statuettes mésopotamiennes ont été confisquées et placées sous séquestre. L'homme a payé la caution. Convocation du juge est fixée au 5 janvier 2024. Fait qu'il a quitté la prison. Ben oui! Il était... Regarde, on était le 17... Quand on était parti...
Mr. Ratchet, you didn't just steal statuettes. What recent information does the database have on you?
Samuel Ratchet.
It's so frustrating. I have a name, but I can't find anything about him. But I know just who to call.
Robot Defense League, we are monitoring this call.
Hello, Braid. Long time.
Oh, Joanna. Hey, how may I assist you?
I need you to search the dark web.
Yeah, can you narrow that down a little? Cause, it's pretty big and pretty dark out here.
Could you find intel about a Samuel Ratchet?
Samuel Ratchet. Got it. Bad dude?
They don't come worse. Send me what you find by email.
Alright, hang on. Okay. Yeah, uh-huh. Okay, nope. And... okay. Oh, this might be something. I gotta do a deeper dive, but you should find this interesting. Could be coincidence if I believed in them. Emailing details.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
We're here to save mankind. Oh, it's a cookbook.
Il a acheté 3 billets, une première classe puis 2 secondes classes. Réservation faite par Hector McQueen, réservation 2 juin 2023. Départ Istanbul, Turquie, arrivée Paris-France. Date de départ 15 décembre 2023, date d'arrivée 18 décembre 2023. 3 passagers pour 1 Hector McQueen, 1 Samuel Ratchet et 1 Edward Masterman. Fait que c'est ça. Le Samuel Ratchet en première classe. Le 203, le 102 et 103, c'est pour justement McQueen puis Masterman.
The Orient Express. I'm gonna print these tickets and put them on the board.
OK. Fait que aussi qu'ils vont dans le corkboard.
Goodbye, Michael Clark. Hello, Samuel Ratchet, the man who stole your identity and your life. This is Ratchet's ticket. The person traveling with Ratchet has the same last name as my district attorney during the Armstrong case?
Ouais, il avait dit que c'était son oncle. Puis Masterman. C'est quoi le lien entre lui puis
These tickets were all booked by McQueen.
Ah. Qu'est-ce qu'il reste à faire? Trouver des informations sur leur access, examiner la boîte. Il y a encore d'autres affaires à checker dans les pièces à conviction. Il y a une 9e. Clé USB. Hein? Il y avait une clé USB. Ok, je vais retourner checker mes preuves. Apparemment, il y a une clé USB là-dedans. Oh, la boule! Ouais, c'est un puzzle. C'est un Rubik. Tête de mort. Ah, voilà une clé USB.
A USB key. Let's plug it into my PC and see what nasty little secret it contains.
Fait que c'est une Rubik Sphere. Clé USB. Cassetti Lanfranco.
Shaved off the Metro beard. But I'd recognize that smug bastard anywhere. The man I interviewed 4 years ago posing as Michael Clark. This goes on the board.
Ok, on a un Cassetti. Photo de l'argent. Quelqu'un avait le tatou. Fait que c'est Noah.
Maybe they needed to show the ransom to someone. To check if the serial numbers were still on record. I'll print them, and on the wall they go.
Ok. Fait que ça, c'était les deux preuves qui me manquaient. Bon, Hector McQueen. Date de naissance 7 juillet 1983. Numéro de téléphone 413-555-9532. Aucun casier judiciaire. Le fils du procureur McQueen de l'État de Massachusetts. Dernier emploi connu. Asana. Oh, secrétaire particulier.
I knew it. He's the son of my former DA. He goes on the evidence board.
Okay. Lanfranco Cassetti.
Absolutely nothing on this Cassetti. His driver's license is almost surely a fake.
Ok, donc. Là, ici, on a un lien entre la personne tatouée.
This tattoo is the same on both pictures.
Hector McQueen avec son billet.
Here's what Hector McQueen looks like.
Là, on peut toujours dire.
So, Ratchet's real name was Cassetti.
Il manque quelque chose? Ok.
Hector McQueen is the son of District Attorney McQueen.
Okay. Quoi d'autre? Il y a encore 2 connexions à faire, mais je la trouve pas. On va devoir taper dans un indice. Hein? Ah. Je le vois pas. C'est ici. Oh! La victime de Boston avec Ratchet?
As Ratchet is alive, the dead man can only be Noah.
Ah. J'ai même pas fait attention à sa couleur. Ça devrait dire tout, mais...
I know I have to...
S'il y a quelque chose d'évident, je le vois pas.
The DA resigned soon after the Armstrong case. It haunted him just as it has haunted me.
Je la catch pas. Je pense que ça n'a pas vraiment rapport, mais... Encore 3 sur 5. Attends un peu. Ouais, c'est ce que je fais depuis tantôt, là. C'est pas un indice qui m'aide. J'ai besoin d'informations sur l'Orient Express. Il fallait tout de suite imaginer. Ah, ça a rapport avec le magazine que j'avais. Il est où, là? Ça?
The Orient Express departs from Istanbul next week. Interesting. I'll put it on the board.
Bon, c'était ça qui me manquait, Calice. Oh! Le légendaire... Ok, ça on le savait. Donc, lui va être dans l'Orient Express.
Next week, a certain Edward Masterman will be on the Orient Express. Mr. McQueen will be on the Orient Express next week. Ratchet will be traveling on the Orient Express in a week.
Okay. Ok, j'ai trouvé l'information sur l'Orient Express. Encore 3 sur 5. Qu'est-ce qui me manque?
The event? Some old train. But that face, that man.
Oscarelli? C'est quoi son lien, lui?
Foscarelli will be on the Orient Express next week.
So? Je suis juste supposé faire de la reconnaissance faciale. Boscarelli, sa face me dit de quoi? Ok, on va essayer quelque chose. Non. Je vois pas le lien entre Boscarelli puis John Armstrong.
I know that face. That's John Armstrong's driver.
What?
Damn! Ratchet is taking the Orient Express next week. McQueen, the district attorney's son, is too. Foscarelli, the Armstrong chauffeur, is too.
Oh,
It
fuck!
can't be a coincidence. McQueen and Foscarelli must have decided to take revenge and will undoubtedly attack Ratchet on this train. I have to be on the Orient Express to stop them. And above all, I must stop Ratchet. But I can't do it in Istanbul because there's no extradition treaty with the United States. Ratchet can never be judged in the US without an extradition treaty. I'll have to wait until he's in Paris to have him arrested.
Ah. Sorry. J'avais même pas fait le lien. Ah, sa face me dit de quoi? C'est comme, non, je l'ai pas vu. C'est vrai que c'était un pilote. Mais maintenant qu'on les met côte à côte, oui, ça ressemble. Mais c'est comme...
Every compartment is taken for this special anniversary journey. Oh, it's impossible to find a ticket. What can I do?
Acheter un billet à quelqu'un ou frauder?
Let's find out who's traveling on the Orient Express. Time to call Braid.
Braid! It's me again.
I haven't found anything useful yet.
I need one last favor. But it's a big one.
Uh-oh.
Can you find me the list of passengers of the Orient Express for that anniversary trip?
Hold on. Jeez, their IT is surprisingly good. Maybe because of the big event. I found the list, but they sealed my back door as I was starting to capture it.
Oh no.
Whoa, calm down. I got one name. Female. The name I got before they kicked me off the server was Stacy Johnson.
Good enough.
Stacy Johnson.
The question is, how is she going to feel about helping me?
That's one you'll have to figure out for yourself. I gotta go back to weaving my magic on the web.
Stacy Johnson. Date de naissance, 17 décembre 1988, nationalité USA, l'actrice qui a joué dans le film Love and Despair, marraine de plusieurs associations d'aide aux enfants, arrêtée pour avoir agressé un paparazzi, arrangement sans procès. Arrangement hors cours, j'imagine. Je trouve ça bizarre, tu sais, que cette personne-là ait agressé un... Je fais quoi, là? Je l'appelle? Ah, il fallait que je clique sur le nom. Là, je compose son numéro de téléphone.
Hello, is this Stacy Johnson?
Who's asking?
Journaliste ou inspectrice?
My name is Joanna Locke. I'm a police detective.
And I'm just an actress. Now what did I do wrong?
Nothing. I need your help. I need to take your place in the Orient Express.
Is this a joke? No way.
Do you remember the Armstrong kidnapping?
Of course I do. That poor little girl.
I'm a police officer. I have a new lead that may help me find her killer.
Wait, didn't they prove it was the nanny?
I have found compelling new evidence. I've reopened my investigation.
You know, I had my doubts about the murderous nanny. I played a nanny a couple years ago in a slasher. I was killed in the first episode, but it got me interested in helping kids.
Stacy, please. You say you help kids?
Well, I joined a couple of associations who are trying to help underprivileged kids. If this little girl's real killer is still out there somewhere, I'd do anything I could to help.
Getting me on that train will help more than you can imagine.
So, you want my ticket for the Orient Express? But I booked it months ago. I was so much looking forward to this trip.
Ah, on va le payer.
I'll give you twice what you paid for the ticket.
You think I care about the money? You still don't get it, do you? I'm hanging up. Goodbye.
Wait. Stacy, I can tell you care about kids. Here's your chance to help put this beast in prison for the rest of his life. Think of the publicity for those causes you care about. Think about the kids.
Think of the children!
Yeah. All right. We'll do it for Daisy and the kids who suffer. I'll take care of changing the tickets to your name and send it to you. Get him. Make him pay.
I will. Thank you so much.
I almost lost the call. I was afraid, uh-oh, I fucked up.
Stacy was as good as her word. I received the ticket. I called my chief to let him know I was taking my vacation time. I had coming. I flew to Istanbul. I was finally going to nail the monster responsible for Daisy Armstrong's death, Michael Clark's death, even his accomplice, and, I suspected, so many others as well. You know the rest.
You're probably wondering how I got here. C'est déjà la fin du chapitre 7. Le chapitre 7, c'était juste ça. Mais je veux dire, en même temps, on a complété. Le reste, c'est juste... Oh, 17 décembre, 19h. Oh, là, on est le soir.
And that's how I found myself on this train. On Ratchet's trail. The rest, you know. My identity is easily checked with the Berkshire Police.
Thank you for your detailed account, Mademoiselle Locke. In addition to giving us crucial details of the investigation, you have made it clear that there are many who might wish to see Ratchet dead.
Est-ce que Locke est suspecte ou innocente? Ben, elle est suspecte dans un sens, mais elle a aidé beaucoup.
You have pursued Ratchet with, one might say, a vengeance. This could lead someone to believe you are a suspect.
Mademoiselle, I admit that
But your story is credible. I believe you are innocent.
Yes, of course. That's clear.
Thank you for believing me. I'd like to help in any way I can.
Do not worry, Mademoiselle Locke. Already I see things more clearly. It's obvious Whoever drugged you was trying to derail your investigation.
You mean the person who did this to me is Ratchet's killer?
Both Monsieur Michel and Fraulein Schmidt had the means and opportunity to drug you. While you get your strength back, I intend to interview them.
Excellent idea, my friend. All this excitement has whetted my appetite. I'm sure Mademoiselle Locke won't say no to a good, invigorating meal.
What? No. I want to hear what the conductor and Fräulein Schmidt have to say for themselves.
It is my duty to ensure the well-being of the passengers. If Dr. Constantine has no objection, I will escort you to the restaurant car.
On the contrary, some food will do her the greatest good.
Well, I'm still a little shaky. Mr. Poirot, will you please keep me informed about what you learn?
You may be certain of it.
Bon, un nouveau mystère. Qui a tué Rachette? Une nouvelle carte mentale. Fait que ça, c'est ce qu'on s'en va explorer. Interroger Michel. Ça fait longtemps qu'on l'a pas vu, lui. Bon, on a Hector. Là, on est au bout du train. Ça, c'est le docteur Constantine avec son petit train. OK.
Book is a collector, and not surprisingly, he collects trains.
Fait que la vraie heure, c'est 7h05. OK.
Are you all right, Mr. Poirot? And Ms. Locke? Has she had symptoms again?
I didn't mean to disturb you, Doctor. Everything progresses satisfactorily.
OK.
All that snow.
Are you familiar with the concept of entropy, Monsieur McQueen?
Oh, Mr. Poirot, I didn't see you. Entropy? Randomness in a system or something?
Yes. Unpredictability. Even the best laid plans can go astray, thanks to something as simple as...
An unexpected passenger?
Perhaps. Or snow.
Ouais, parce que le plan de Locke, c'était d'intercepter intercepter Ratchet à Paris, mais il est mort avant. Fait que ça l'empêche de... Elle a pas un motif, parce qu'elle voulait le ramener en vie. Ça, c'est ma chambre. Chambre 204, ça c'est Olga.
I have nothing to ask them at the moment. I should leave them alone.
C'est Olga et Hubbard. Ouais. Olga Hubbard. 205. Tout le monde doit être au bar lounge à Star Sit. Schmidt lit un livre.
Good evening, Fräulein Schmidt. May I disturb you for a moment?
You asked so politely, mein Herr, but I do not think I have a choice.
Ça me tente pas d'accuser le Schmidt d'avoir drogué Mademoiselle Locke. Je veux juste l'avertir des faits.
I wanted to let you know that your roommate, Mademoiselle Locke, is awake.
Ah, yes, I'm glad to hear that. I was worried about her. Did she tell you what had happened to her?
Unfortunately, she doesn't remember much, but we found a residue of a sleeping pill in her cup of tea. Since you two were alone together in your room when she drank it, who else but you could have dragged her?
Must I point out I do not make the tea on this train? You should question the conductor or the kitchen staff.
C'est vrai qu'elle a des somnifères, mais...
I know you have sleeping pills, Fräulein.
I do have some. Do you think I'm the only person on this train who finds it difficult to sleep? I believe the Countess Andrenier takes them. And I heard the Olsen woman thanking Mrs. Hubbard for a pill.
That was aspirin.
If you say so.
Mademoiselle Locke could have died. Whoever drugged her must not feel any empathy for their fellow human beings, given the dose that Mademoiselle Locke ingested. She was close to death.
Oh my God. What did I do?
Ah!
Just have her sleep for a few hours while we had time.
A few hours.
Time for what? Time for what, Madame Schmidt?
You think I feel nothing? Nothing? That poor little girl.
Indeed, that poor little girl. Fräulein Schmidt is somehow connected to the Armstrong case.
Quel est le lien entre Schmidt et l'affaire Armstrong? Cuisinière de la princesse Dragamirov, cuisinière des Armstrong, dame de compagnie de Sonia Armstrong. Elle aurait pu être la cook. C'était ça!
Et voilà. Fräulein Schmidt, I have a certain reputation for sniffing out...
I am not a murderer.
Forgive me, but I was going to say brilliant chefs. You were the Armstrong family's cook, were you not?
But... yes. I was the cook of that lovely, lovely family. I'm sorry, but I must ask you to give me some time to collect myself. It wasn't supposed to be like this. My darling, my poor darling child.
I will give you that time, Fräulein. You have given me much more in exchange. I must check in with my other suspects to make certain I have all the pieces of the puzzle in my possession.
Can I get you something, Monsieur Poirot? Everyone is so tense.
An aperitif soon, Monsieur Fauchet, with pleasure, when the matter is resolved.
Book et Locke sont en train de manger. Ils sont où tout le
You're
monde?
right, Mr. Book. This dessert is delicious. I'm glad we didn't wait for dinner.
I promise the entrée will be superb as well.
Detective Locke, you are recovering well, I see.
Yes. I should be helping with the investigation. Do you know who drugged me?
It
Yeah.
is early yet for conclusions. When I return, then we shall see.
Do not worry, Poirot. She is in good hands. Potarou, Freya, and yours truly are looking after her.
Oh, ils ont donné le dessert, le fameux... la surprise du Orient Express. L'espèce là de biscuit concassé, crème de caramel, framboise, crème glacée au citron, crème anglaise, croustillante. Otaro est en cuisine. C'est-tu la soupe? C'est la même casserole qui touille que l'autre touillait.
Not now. Not now. I have a dinner to prepare. Would you interrupt Michelangelo or Da Vinci?
Of course. Anytime, any day of the week, I will interrupt them because... Oh! Golden moustache.
Come to Poirot, my exquisitely sculpted friend.
Personne. Le paquet de cartes est rangé. Bon, on va aller voir Monsieur Pierre-Michel. Toi, là!
Good evening, Michel. Am I bothering you? You seem stressed.
With everything that's going on, I must admit, it's difficult to be relaxed.
Of course, I understand. Especially since we know that Detective Locke's tea was drugged before it was served to her.
Detective?
Come now, Michel. Surely you would have taken the opportunity to search her things and found her badge. Luckily, she woke up and was finally able to tell us her story.
Otaru boiled the water, Jean made the tea. I just brought it. Sir, it could have been any of the staff.
Your defense is to accuse others?
Text. Can you speak our Sudoku? That's a birthday.
You have a network connection?
No.
Oh, he's related to... Of course. Of course.
My landlord complains.
Pierre Michel had to be involved in the murder. The drugged tea, his post at the end of the hall, and now I know why I know more than one of those people on the screen.
So yeah, le screenshot, qui est la personne à gauche? C'est Pierre-Michel.
Right.
La personne à droite, c'est le détective américain, mais au milieu, c'est Suzanne Moreau.
Yes.
Et à droite, c'est Hardman, Cyrus Hardman.
Good job.
Comment ça se fait qu'il la connaît, elle?
My little gray cells did not let me down. You are the father of Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's nanny. My condolences on the death of your wife.
What? But my wife...
Enough lies. Suzanne does not bear your name?
No. Suzanne's mother and I were divorced. Suzanne kept her mother's name.
My most sincere condolences, Monsieur Michel, on the deaths of Suzanne and your wife.
This job, I loved them, but I was never there for them. Then, a year after the divorce, Solange became ill. Suzanne took her to this special hospital in the US. Got that job as Daisy's nanny.
I understand your pain, and the reason that led you to drug Detective Locke.
We really can't hide anything from you, can we?
Many have been foolish enough to try and keep the truth from Hercule Poirot.
Yes, I admit, I drugged the tea. But it was only to keep her quiet, until I could... But she reacted so much to the sleeping pills.
She was lucky, as are you, that she didn't die. To be frank, there is one more thing that puzzled me, but I think I understand now.
La relation entre Hardman et Michel, ben ils étaient ensemble. Ça veut dire qu'ils sont un couple? Boyfriend ou genre? J'ai pas remarqué de bague. Non, ils sont pas encore mariés, anyway.
Monsieur Hardman was Suzanne's fiancé.
Huh. I have the impression my whole life to you is an open book.
Oh.
Yes, Cyrus was my daughter's fiancé. I almost consider Cyrus as my own son.
Of course. Much more is clear now. I have been patient long enough. It is time to go and see what all the commotion is next door.
Hardman, qu'est-ce que tu fais, Carlis?
Monsieur Hardman, excellent. The gods who watch over detectives must have trapped you here.
Why didn't they watch over me? I'm a detective too. I was talking to Michelle about a leaky faucet, and I wanted to go out, but you showed up.
No need to invent some preposterous story.
But really,
Michelle has told me everything. You are the fiancé of Suzanne Moreau, his daughter.
Oh. I see.
Surely this is not a big surprise to you.
No. Suzanne was the only woman I ever loved. And I failed her. I got into a spat. It was nothing, but I was too proud to apologize. We weren't speaking at all. Suzanne never really cared for that guy Noah. She would have forgiven me. If only. If only.
If only. A common refrain between lovers who quarrel. Obviously, Pierre Michel and Fräulein Schmidt both drugged Detective Locke's tea, causing the overdose.
Ah!
Time to report my findings to her and you.
Ils se sont pas parlé, fait qu'elle a été droguée 2 fois.
Another golden moustache to treasure.
Chef's Kiss Ultimate Edition.
I wonder if our master chef gets his recipes from a game.
Wait. It's a video game? Oh, it's like a Switch game Lou does. It's like Fruit Ninja. Oh, it's one of those games. Be delicious. Cooking Mama. Choco Break, Car Universe, Water. T'as essayé de débarrer la porte, sortir par la 302, mais qu'est-ce que tu fais? Ça, c'est la chambre de Otaru et Fauché. Ouais, Monsieur Book est dans le wagon-restaurant. Ah ouais, là, qu'elle voudrait savoir aussi.
So, my friend, tell me, you have something new?
Mademoiselle Locke, I know who drugged you. Fräulein Schmidt and our conductor, Pierre Michel, both admitted putting sleeping pills into your tea. This explains your overdose. They are relieved you are recovering.
Michel drugged a passenger? On behalf of the company, I offer my apologies to you, Mademoiselle Locke. Michel will answer for this outrage.
Both of them? I was pretty sure about Fräulein Schmidt, but I admit that I did not suspect the conductor.
I have uncovered multiple connections with the Armstrong case. Pierre Michel is the father of Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nanny, and Monsieur Hardman was Suzanne's fiancé. As for Hildegard Schmidt, she was the cook of the Armstrong family. What a coincidence, don't you think?
But it's incredible! What are the odds that so many people linked to that tragic affair ended up on the same train?
About the same as you winning the lottery, my friend.
I wasn't the officer who interviewed Fräulein Schmidt back then, so she couldn't recognize me here on the train. How could they know who I was?
There were other passengers who might have. Or she may have seen you when you visited the Armstrong home. It is now clear to me that some of the clues to this elaborate plot were staged for my benefit.
Que veut-il me faire croire? Que le tueur est monté dans le train à Vikovski, tué Ratchet et est sorti immédiatement. Le tueur est monté dans le train à Vikovski, tué Ratchet et est resté dans le train. Le tueur est monté dans le train à Istanbul, tué Ratchet et est sorti à Belgrade. Je pense qu'ils essayent de la fausse piste, c'est ça.
I do not
No?
think that's the right answer. I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. Some clues and information collected so far could lead to a hypothesis. The murderer boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchet, and then left the train immediately.
How did you come to that possibility?
Monsieur Hardman told me about a short man with a high-pitched voice who threatened Ratchet. Imagine for a moment that this man, wearing a wagon-lit conductor's jacket, killed him while Michel was on the platform at Vinkovsky. This murderer then hid the conductor's jacket in Detective Locke's room, then fled before the train left.
Why choose Detective Locke's room?
Why, indeed. Let me re-explain from the beginning.
OK. Le tueur monte dans le train déguisé en contrôleur. Le tueur sort du train. Pierre-Michel monte dans le train vers minuit 10. Le tueur se débarrasse du couteau, perd un bouton sur sa veste au passage. Le train s'arrête à Vinkovsky à minuit. Monsieur Michel descend sur le quai. Ça serait le premier. On arrête à Vinkovsky à minuit. Le tueur monte dans le train. Pierre-Michel monte dans le train. Le tueur tue Ratchet et sort par la chambre de Mademoiselle Hubbard. Il se débarrasse du couteau, perd un bouton. Ensuite, il se débarrasse de sa veste, qui était la chambre à côté, je crois. Puis il sort du train.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
Qu'est-ce qui... Oh non! Il se débarrasse de sa veste d'abord. Il a plus besoin de sa veste, fait qu'il envoie la plus proche.
Non, 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 non.
Non?
Not good.
Le tueur a profité de l'arrêt du train du fait que monsieur soit sorti pour entrer en déguisant contrôleur. Ouais, ça je le savais. Il a tué Ratchet avant de quitter la scène du crime par la chambre de Hubbard. Il a profité pour y cacher le couteau. Ouais, ça je le savais. Oh, il a retiré sa veste puis il l'a caché dans la valise de Locke pour l'accuser. Donc... Ça, c'est ce que j'ai fait tantôt.
This is wrong, but I'm never far from the truth.
Ça serait ça d'abord?
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Alors, c'est ici qui est croche. Oh, ouais. Tout ça, c'est fait en 10 minutes? Tabarnak! Ben voyons donc!
Easy.
Mon Dieu! Oui! That must be it! Everything fits so well!
It fits too well, my friend. Other clues lead to a second hypothesis, much more plausible.
Quelle est l'hypothèse la plus probable? Plusieurs meurtriers qui se sont enfuis à Vinkovsky. Plusieurs meurtriers qui voulaient voler l'argent de Ratchet. Plusieurs meurtriers, tous reliés à l'affaire Armstrong.
Et voilà. So, we have multiple murderers, all related to the Armstrong case. The murderer from Winkowski was a fabrication to turn suspicion away from those on the train. They expected the investigation to be led by some small-town official who could easily be misled.
Mr. Poirot?
Detective Locke, forgive me. You are an obvious exception. You tracked Ratchet with the tenacity of a bloodhound. Unfortunately for the killers, they not only had you to deal with, but now they had, and I say this with all modesty, the world's greatest detective, Hercule Poirot, dropped into the midst of their meticulous planning.
Multiple murderers? Multiple detectives? Poirot, please take pity on me. Who is linked to this case, and who is not?
My poor friend, I have gone speeding out of the station without you. I will continue.
OK. Les 9 personnes qui sont connectées à l'affaire Armstrong. Foscarelli. Pierre-Michel. Hardman. McQueen. Non. Schmidt. Elena. J'en ai 5. Dragomirov. Rudolph doit être impliqué aussi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ok, McQueen. McQueen. Masterman.
No, not good.
7 sur 9. Ok. Arbuthnot et Debenham.
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Hubbard. Et Rudolph.
I do not think
No.
that's the right answer.
Greta. Qui reste? Pas Constantine.
Think, Poirot. That is not a good answer.
Ratchet et l'inspectrice sont impliqués. Depuis que la comtesse Audrey Nihi et la princesse Dragomirov étaient très proches de la famille Armstrong. Il reste Michel, Hardman, Schmidt, McQueen, Foscarelli en lien. Ouais, mais je les ai toutes nommés, là. Oh, les 9 personnes connectées à l'affaire Armstrong. Ah, ben là, Locke et Ratchet, ils sont connectés, mais moi je pensais qu'on cherchait les coupables. Ah, c'est chiboche.
That's the right answer.
Ok.
Fraulein Schmidt, Pierre Michel,
Fait qu'il y en a 7.
Monsieur Hardman and Monsieur McQueen are all linked to the Armstrong case. I also know that Sonia Armstrong's sister and godmother, Countess Andreni and Princess Dragomirov, are on this train. And finally, Detective Locke discovered that Mr. Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
If we add Detective Locke and Ratchet, of the 12 passengers in that coach, 9 have a connection with the Armstrong case.
Ouais.
What next, Poirot? Or should I say, who next?
It is time to summon everyone.
Everyone?
Déjà?
Dr. Constantine? The train crew other than Michel?
Dr. Constantine, yes. I will need him. But we don't want the others as witnesses.
I will see that their duties keep them occupied elsewhere.
Ok, fait qu'on n'a pas besoin de faucher Nielsen et Otaru. Ok, d'accord.
In a case is much like Rodin unveiling the thinker before a captivated audience. A work of art. Have you not felt that way, Detective?
No, Mr. Poirot. I'm happy just to slap the cuffs on him.
Well, there is some artistry in that as well, I suppose.
Where would you like the unveiling, Poirot? The lounge?
Perfect.
Then I will gather all the passengers in the lounge.
Mais l'affaire, c'est que si je me rappelle bien, dans l'histoire, bon, c'était cette nuit-là qu'il fallait qu'il résoudre le meurtre parce que ils ont eu des nouvelles comme quoi le train allait être déneigé le lendemain, tu sais, parce qu'il y avait du monde qui travaillait pour déneiger la track. Tout le monde est là. Barre la porte.
Monsieur Book, are the train crew locked in their quarters?
Yes, they are.
Then the stage is set for the final act. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you together to hear my reconstruction of the murder of Samuel Edward Ratchet, also known as Cassetti. There is not one, but two possible solutions of the crime. I shall put them both before you, and I shall ask Monsieur Book and Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the correct one.
Two solutions?
Ah!
I am hardly qualified.
Nevertheless, your assistance is required.
Everybody's looking at each other.
Now,
what the fuck?
You all know the facts of the case. Ratchet was found stabbed to death this morning. He was last known to be alive at 12:37 a.m. last night when he spoke to the wagon-lit conductor through the door. His watch was found to be badly dented, and it had stopped at 1:15. Dr. Constantine, who examined the body, puts the time of death as having occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning. At half an hour after midnight, as you all know, the train ran into a snowdrift. After that time, it was impossible for anyone to leave the train. So, here is my first theory. The enemy, as Ratchet expected, joined the train at Vinkovsky by the door left open by Captain Arbuthnot and Monsieur McQueen, who had just descended to the platform. He was equipped with a wagon-lit jacket, which he wore over his ordinary clothes, and a pass key which enabled him to gain access to Ratchet's compartment in spite of the doors being locked. Ratchet was under the influence of a sleeping draught. This man stabbed him with great ferocity, 12 wounds in all. He left the compartment through the communicating door to Madame Hubbard's compartment.
Yes, that's so. Scared me half out of my wits.
The murderer thrust the dagger he had used into Mrs. Hubbard's handbag in passing. Without knowing it, he lost a button of his uniform. Then he slipped out of the compartment and along the corridor. He put the uniform jacket into Detective Locke's suitcase to cast suspicion on her. And a few minutes later, dressed in his ordinary clothes, he left the train just before it started off again. Using the same means for egress, The door near the dining car. That is the first hypothesis. But there's a second. For that, we must examine the motive for the crime. Why was Ratchet killed?
Vengeance!
The motive is clear. Revenge, of course. Nothing was stolen. And we know that Ratchet had made many enemies. This was a premeditated crime, meticulously planned.
Just before the leaving Istanbul, or many months before?
Since the kidnapping and death of little Daisy Armstrong, which traumatized many people close to the family. Even when the police concluded that it was Suzanne Moreau, questions remained. Detective Locke continued her investigation, as did others. They became convinced the truth lay elsewhere. We now know who the real murderer of Daisy is.
Le meurtrier de Daisy, c'est Ratchet.
It is clear now that Daisy's killer was Ratchet, also known as Cassetti and Michael Clark and how many other names. But of course, many of you have known this for a long time. It is obvious that the 12 stab wounds are not a random number. Dr. Constantine's analysis revealed that some stab wounds appeared to have been caused by a right-handed attacker. Others indicated the knife wielder was left-handed. Some wounds were deep, more than one fatal, yet others were not much more than mere scratches. What can explain these discrepancies? This leads us to an obvious conclusion. They are symbolic.
Le jury de procès des États-Unis, l'âge de Daisy. It could be a jury because Daisy was not 12 years old. She was younger than that.
12 stabs. 12! The same number as a trial jury in the United States. But not just a jury of 12 members condemning him to death, but 12 executioners as well. This self-appointed jury had meticulously planned for everything except
snow.
Yeah.
Snow. The avalanche that stopped us, as well as the presence of not one but two detectives on the train. They had to improvise, to hastily add clues and false leads.
La montre cassée, la vapoteuse.
The vial of vaping liquid incriminated Captain Arbuthnot. However, he had a solid alibi confirmed by Monsieur McQueen. Impossible then to suspect him.
La veste de contrôleur.
The conductor's jacket, found in Detective Locke's suitcase, was put there only to cast suspicion upon her.
La montre cassée, the broken watch.
The time on Ratchet's broken watch was deliberately set to conceal the true time of the crime.
The kimono.
This woman in a red kimono does not exist. I don't know which of the passengers it was. It does not really matter. It was just a performance, a charade to introduce another possible culprit to muddy the waters. All these false leads were intended for me. But I am Poirot. I understood the truth. We have a train full of suspects. It's time to identify who the real culprits are. Let's start with Detective Locke.
Est-ce que Locke a poignardé Ratchet? Non. Elle dormait. She was drug.
Planting the conductor's jacket in her suitcase was an attempt to implicate Detective Locke, but she couldn't fake her drugged condition. Dr. Constantine can testify that the drugged tea incapacitated her for hours, and she had 2 relapses. Let us move on to Monsieur McQueen. When I told him about Cassetti, he looked very surprised that I managed to make the connection between him and the Armstrong case. He told me, "But I thought we had..." I think he meant...
Éliminer toutes les preuves ou déjà arrêter le coupable?
No, he could not think that. You thought you didn't leave any real clues linking the murder to the Armstrong kidnapping. Moreover, you insisted that Ratchet did not speak French when you knew I had heard a voice calling out in French that was supposed to be Ratchet.
Oh, he did. Qu'est-ce qui incrimine McQueen, son père? Yeah, son père.
You took some pleasure in leaving me false clues, I think. It was quite annoying. But you told me yourself that your father was the district attorney who handled the Armstrong case.
The case haunted my father. At first, he believed Suzanne Moreau had helped her boyfriend, Noah, to kidnap Daisy, even though there were questions that went unanswered, and a young policewoman refused to let it go, continuing to find discrepancies, but never enough to reopen the official investigation.
That policewoman sits there. Her name is Joanna Locke.
Then tell him. Tell him how in the end my father believed you, how he resigned a job that he loved, racked with guilt that he may have let that monster go free. He died young, broken, his faith in justice broken. That's what Ratchet did to him.
Thank you for your honesty, Monsieur McQueen. Your father is one more victim of the man who called himself Ratchet. Now, I will turn to Ratchet's valet, Monsieur Masterman.
Did he stab? I want to say yes. He could have drugged Ratchet.
Ratchet sensed danger close to him and naturally wanted to stay awake. You gave him sleeping pills without his knowledge. Once he was sound asleep, you could do what you had to do in peace.
Sir, I'll tell you the truth. I was Colonel Armstrong's adjutant in the war, sir, and afterwards, I was his valet in New York. I'm afraid I concealed the fact this morning. It was very wrong of me, sir, but I knew how suspicious it would look.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all, sir.
Now, to leave no suspicious stone unturned, let us move on to Monsieur Bouc.
What? Me? A suspicious stone?
Did he stab him? I don't know. No, the plot was made months in advance. He couldn't have known. Oh, those reasons are good. Yeah, I didn't know that McAdams worked with Armstrong. Like, so yeah, if he was part of the plot, why would he insist on bringing me on the train?
Book, my friend, of course you are not guilty. You did everything you could to get me on this train. What madness would cause you to ensure, and I speak with all modesty, that the best detective in the world could be present to witness your crime?
But doesn't our friendship count as well?
Most
Yes.
assuredly, but a murderer can wear all sorts of masks, including friendship. Let us consider our ever-efficient wagon-lit conductor, Pierre Michel.
Oh, he did. Father Moreau.
No, that is his motive. I need real, tangible proof.
Okay.
Your admission that you drugged Detective Locke immediately incriminates you. But the murder could not have been possible without your very capable assistance. Your knowledge of train procedures made the murder possible, and your position in the corridor of the train allowed you to be the perfect alibi for several passengers. And your motive? Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's poor nanny, who was wrongly accused and committed suicide, was your daughter.
C'est enfoiré. He got what he deserved. My poor daughter.
Cet enfoiré. You bastard.
My child.
Let's move on now to Monsieur Hardman, one of 3 detectives on this train.
Oh, he did the stabby. I want to say the testimony of Michelle.
Monsieur Hardman, I think you are a real detective, but you were never hired by Ratchet. Your alibi was that you were watching the corridor to protect Ratchet, which, of course, you never did. You protected Pierre Michel. However, we just saw that his alibi doesn't hold up, so neither does yours.
I don't know about the conductor.
Being Suzanne's fiancé, you had a substantial motive to punish Ratchet. You used your detective skills, just as Detective Locke did, to hunt him down and finally avenge the death of your beloved.
That's right, Mr. Poirot. I do have some detective skills.
I never doubted it. Now, Fraulein Schmidt, the lady's maid with the soul of a cook.
She did. She did drug Miss Locke too, but she didn't know that Pierre Michel did drug her as well, hence the overdose.
Fraulein Schmidt, you told me of your remorse for drugging Detective Locke. I believe you are sincere. However, as the cook of the Armstrong family, you experienced the drama from within. The death of Daisy, then Sonia Armstrong, who died in childbirth, and finally, Suzanne and John Armstrong.
So much misfortune in that poor family. The death of this criminal is only justice.
Let us move on to Countess Andreni. I was impressed by the earnestness of her husband when he swore to me solemnly on his honor that his wife never left her compartment that night. Should I believe it?
Yeah, she did the stabby.
Even if it seems logical, it's more complicated than that. I believe Countess Andreni.
Oh! So no stabby for her. But she was Sonia Armstrong's sister.
On the contrary, this fact gives her a motive for murder.
Too weak?
Countess Andreny is young and fit, physically quite capable of stabbing Ratchet. The problem must be somewhere else.
Moral? Nah!
Countess Andreny, being Sonia Armstrong's sister, you had every reason in the world to want to avenge her. But you were incapable of stabbing someone, even after what he had done to you and your family. The
Bullshit!
night of the crime, you simply took a sleeping pill. I appreciate the irony that nearby, Detective Locke was also in a drugged sleep. When you awoke, you thought the nightmare was over.
Rudolph?
Hush, my love. Hush.
Excellent transition. I was coming to you, Count Andreny.
Oh, he did it for her!
12 people, a jury. This was very important to all of you. If Countess Andreny did not stab Ratchet, someone had to take her place. And you, Count, the beloved husband. I've seen how fiercely you love.
Yeah, he would have killed for her.
Your wife.
Enough! I would do anything for Helena. Anything. Even that.
Yes.
Even that.
Let's move on to Monsieur Foscarelli.
Oh, Foscarelli did the stabby too. So yeah, the investigation incriminating him because I had no idea he was Armstrong's chauffeur. But why?
Detective Locke found out that you were the Armstrong chauffeur, and that you planned to travel on the same train at the same time as Ratchet. That is what made her decide to obtain a ticket as well. Unfortunately, she could not prevent the murder. Have you lost your tongue, Mr. Foscarelli?
Oh, Daisy. She was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me.
Oh.
And she would sit in the car and pretend to drive me.
And you, Mademoiselle Olson, a champion for the immigrants, a worthy calling.
Did she stabbed? I didn't have proof. But she heard the story, right? All the way, no. I want to say, okay, I'm going to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, she did. The locket?
Mademoiselle Olson, you supported Madame Hubbard's story about her connecting door latch, a story that I later demonstrated to be impossible. So, you deliberately lied to me, and you also lied about Mademoiselle Debenham's whereabouts.
Enough! I can't take this anymore. I know what you want from me, Mr. Poirot. Very well. Here it is. She was my little Daisy, my angel, so patient. When I patched a scrape or took her temperature, that was my job. But she was so much more to me. She was a shining light in an ever-darkening world. I've tried to honor her by caring for children who have lost everything.
Oh.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Olson. You too shed light on your part in this mystery.
The nurse.
You were Daisy Armstrong's nurse. I will ask you no more questions. It is enough that you have admitted what I know to be the truth, and I understand. Let's move on. Dr. Constantine.
You suspect me? I know none of these people. I didn't know Ratchet either, and I've taken a solemn oath to help people, not murder them.
Does he have an alibi? I don't know why he didn't. He helped a lot. I mean, yeah, if he was in on it, he would have lied about everything, but,
Dr. Constantine was certainly helpful to my investigation, but that does not prove he is innocent.
The oath? No, the testimony.
You are one of the few people in this room not to have any connection with the Armstrong case. Moreover, your alibi is confirmed by Monsieur Bouc, whom I would trust with my life.
That is very kindly said, my friend.
We now come to Mademoiselle Debenham and Captain Arbuthnot, whose relationship was not in doubt from the moment I inspected your room at the hotel.
You have a bloody nerve.
Indeed, I do.
We're getting married.
Oh!
Congratulations. But I would rather talk about your relationship to John Armstrong.
What's the relationship of Arbuthnot? They were brothers in arms. They were soldiers.
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot. Captain Arbuthnot, you served in the army with John Armstrong. What I don't understand is why a man your age is still a captain. One might expect you to be a colonel as well.
Ever fought in a war, Poirot?
It was war that first brought me to England.
Then you know what it's like. There's a shattering sound, and death, and mistakes, acting on intelligence that proved to be wrong. I sent a patrol to their death. Good men, brave men, wasted. John testified on my behalf at a court-martial. I'm not a colonel. I don't deserve to be, you bloody fool. But I'm also not in prison. John remained my best friend until... There, you have my story. Understand now?
Archie, calm down, please.
You're right, Mary. What you see in me, I don't understand.
Oh, Archie, I see in you what John saw.
Miss Debenham, I'm sorry.
My turn, is it?
I'm afraid so. And you have caused me quite a puzzlement. Your connection with the Armstrong family was not obvious.
Teacher?
Then I remembered the job you currently hold. That was easy. You were the teacher of... No, she was the teacher of Countess Andrény.
Oh, yeah, teaching English.
You were the teacher of Helena Andrény, whose maiden name was Helena Goldenberg before she married Count Andrény.
Yes, absolutely. Why lie to you? She was an excellent student.
Captain Arbuthnot.
So they both did the stabby? McQueen. Yeah, the McQueen's alibi blows. See, if he's in on it, you in on it too.
You had one of the strongest alibis, thanks to Mr. McQueen. But his testimony melted like a snowflake. There went your alibi. Poof! Unless you have another one.
Shakes his head.
You, Mademoiselle Debenham.
She did the stabby? But no. Her relationship was with Andrény, even though she was the aunt. I'm gonna say no.
I do not think that.
Okay, she did. Sorry, you did. What did she say at Istanbul? I forgot.
Yes, I remember overhearing Mademoiselle Debenham talking with the captain at Sirkeci station. She said, "Not now, not now, when it's all over." That's significant in light of what we now know, but not enough to incriminate her.
So what was Olsen's testimony? Well, she did it. Yeah, that was the. Yeah, that was her alibi. So yeah, the alibi is gone.
Mademoiselle Olsen was the only one who could confirm your alibi. I think you know where you stand.
Very good, Mr. Poirot. Are you satisfied?
I will be soon. Now I must turn to Sonia Armstrong's godmother, Princess Dragomirov.
This is one of the person who absolutely had to be there stabbing. Because we need a left hand.
Princess Dragomirov, you weren't on my list of suspects at the start, given your social position.
I left my social position in a cold country.
Do you object to being addressed as princess?
I deny people the opportunity. It makes a good story to tell their friends. It also guarantees a good table in the best restaurants.
Princess, there is also, forgive me, your extreme physical fragility.
It does not stop me when I must be strong.
Indeed. Of more importance, though, is the fact that you're the only left-handed person on the train. And the single blow to Ratchet from a left-handed person was very...
superficial.
Weak. Finally, I'm afraid I know the alibi that you shared with Fraulein Schmidt is false.
You have been very thorough, sir. I hope you will permit me to say we are much alike.
I am honored. Now it is time to end with Mrs. Hubbard, or should I say...
Linda Arden or Sonia Armstrong? Linda Arden.
Linda Arden. If Princess Dragomirov hadn't told me about her relationship with this famous actress, I might not have made the connection. But you are a great actress, madame. Your performance as a flighty, self-involved woman was superb. I never would have guessed something entirely different. As for what ties you to the Armstrong family, it is obvious.
What's the link between Hubbard and the Armstrong? Sonia's mom? I want to say Sonia's mom. Yes! First try!
My little gray cells did not let me down. Mrs. Hubbard, you are the mother of Sonia Armstrong and Mrs. Andreni.
She did the stabby. Oh yeah, the famous...
Madame Hubbard, you really are a remarkable actress. You put so much effort into your character and into staging the murder. I saw it as a perfect mosaic, each person playing his or her allotted part. So carefully arranged that if suspicion should fall on any one person, the evidence of one or more of the others would clear the accused person and confuse the issue. Everything was meticulous.
That was her plan.
But you hadn't expected that Detective Locke and I would be on this train, and the avalanche would block it on the night of the murder. You had to improvise.
The kimono.
But again, improvisation would be another of your skills as an actress. So you came up with the story that the latch on the door that communicated with Ratchet's compartment was hidden by the handbag.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. That slip about the sponge bag was silly. Shows you should always rehearse properly. You know all about it, Mr. Poirot. You're a very wonderful man, but even you can't quite imagine what it was like. That awful day. I was just crazy with grief. So were the servants. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that Ratchet had escaped had got to be carried out. There were 12 of us, or rather 11. Suzanne's father was over in France, of course. First we thought we'd draw lots as to who should do it, but in the end we decided on this way. It was the driver, Antonio, who suggested it. Mary worked out all the details later with Hector McQueen. It took a long time to perfect our plan. We first had to track Ratchet down. Hardman managed that in the end. Then we had to try and get Edward and Hector into his employment. Well, we managed that. Then we had a consultation with Suzanne's father. Captain Arbuthnot was very keen on having 12 of us. He seemed to think it made it more orderly. He didn't like the stabbing idea much, but he agreed that it did solve most of our difficulties. Well, Suzanne's father was willing. Suzanne had been his only child. We knew from Hector that Ratchet would be coming back from the east, sooner or later, by the Orient Express. With Pierre Michel actually working on that train, the chance was too good to be missed. My daughter's husband had to know, of course, and he insisted on coming on the train with her. Hector wrangled it so that Ratchet selected the right day for traveling when Michel was on duty. And then, at the last minute, you came. For the rest of the story, you worked out everything, Mr. Poirot. You were right about all of us. What are you going to do about it? If it must all come out, can't you lay the blame upon me, and me only? I would have stabbed that man 12 times willingly. It wasn't only that he was responsible for my daughter's death, and her child's, and that of the other child who might have been alive and happy now. It was more than that. There had been other children kidnapped before Daisy.
True.
And there might be others in the future. Society had condemned him. We were only carrying out the sentence, but it's unnecessary to bring all these others into it. All these good, faithful souls.
You are a director of the company.
So that's why they ask for Book and Constantine. So that's your train, your call.
In my opinion, Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. Decidedly so. I suggest that is the solution we offer to the police. You agree, Doctor?
Certainly, I agree. As regards the medical evidence, I think that I made one or two fantastic suggestions.
Then, having placed my solution before you, I have the honor to retire from the case.
And this is it. That's how the game ends. 8 chapters instead of 10. Extra scene. Constantine
I'm
awakes.
sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, Poirot, but it couldn't wait. There was a detail that bothered me in my preliminary autopsy of Ratchet's body. I went back to examine the body and I discovered a wound covered by another. The
A twist?
blow I hadn't seen was delivered by a thinner, sharper blade. So there were not 12, but 13 stab wounds.
12 stabs for 12 jurors. It doesn't work with 13 wounds. The symmetry is destroyed.
It can't be one of the culprits who stabbed him twice?
No.
A different knife was used. There is only one explanation. Somehow, some way, there is a 13th murderer on this train. We must tell Book. The case is not solved.
Oh, it goes on overtime! An encore! Finish chapter 8, of course. They tried to mimic us. Oh, the game is at the Orient Express, 18 December, 9 a.m. Now the train is moving again. Holy shit! I gotta stop the game now.
Ah, Book. I see we are moving at last.
Yes. The way was finally cleared while we slept. If all goes well, we will arrive in Venice this evening. The train will be there for several hours for refueling and reprovisioning. What do we do with the 13th murderer? Do you have a lead?
I thought about it. There is one clue that was left aside in my investigation. The diary I found in Ratchet's safe mentioned an appointment in Venice. Someone with the initials
AW.
He will never keep the appointment. But there should be enough time. I must try to keep that appointment for him.
C'était quoi le rendez-vous? Send money to Cairo. The thing with the rabbit. Fontana di Conigli. So it's on the 18th at 10 p.m. meet AW. Fontana di Conigli, Ville, Venice. On the 18th.
Et voilà.
Okay.